My elder brother is successful, but here I am with nothing.
I can help you take everything he has. I will give you something to put in his food, and also a stick you will use and call his name 3 times.
Chima, Chima, Chima. As I call your name 3 times, your wealth will be mine.
I watched Chima pull up in his new car. Another new car. This one was silver and shiny, catching the afternoon sun like a mirror. He stepped out wearing expensive shoes that probably cost more than my rent. "Brother," he called out, smiling wide. I forced myself to smile back. "Welcome, welcome." Chima was my older brother. Everything he touched turned to gold. Good job, beautiful wife, 2 healthy children, that big house in the city. Meanwhile, I lived in our father's old compound, fixing motorcycles for barely any money. He hugged me. His cologne smelled expensive too. "I brought you something," he said, pulling out an envelope. Inside was money, a lot of money. "Chima, I can't." "Take it, you are my brother." That's what made it worse. He was generous, he was kind, he never bragged, never made me feel small, but I felt small anyway. My wife, Adaize, came out to greet him. I saw how her eyes lingered on his car, his watch, his everything. That look on her face, that's when the poison really started spreading in my chest. After Chima left, Adaize was quiet for a long time. "Your brother is really blessed," she finally said. Blessed, that word burned in my ears. Why was he blessed and not me? We came from the same mother, the same father. We ate the same food growing up. So why did God favor him? That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the money in the envelope. Charity, that's what it felt like. I didn't want charity. I wanted what he had. I wanted his life. The next morning, I went to see Mama Nkiru. Everyone knew she dealt in things beyond the normal world, things people whispered about but never said out loud in daylight. "I need help," I told her, sitting in her compound while chickens pecked around us. She looked at me with those old eyes. What kind of help? I couldn't say it at first, the words stuck in my throat. "I want what my brother has." She smiled then, not a nice smile. That can be arranged. Mama Nkiru's compound smelled like dried herbs and something else I couldn't name. She sat across from me on a wooden stool, studying my face in the bright morning light. "Your brother has everything?" she asked. "Yes." "And you have nothing?" "I have things, just not like him." She laughed, a dry sound like leaves crunching. "You want his blessings to become yours?" I nodded. My heart was beating fast. "There are 2 ways," she said, holding up 2 fingers. "One way, I give you juju to bring good fortune. It works slowly. Maybe in 5 years, 10 years, you prosper. And the other way," her eyes got darker. "The other way, we take what he has directly." "Take it how?" She stood up and walked to a clay pot in the corner. She pulled out a small cloth bag tied with red string. "This is powerful medicine. It will transfer his blessings to you. His success, his money, his good fortune, all of it becomes yours." "Just like that?" "Just like that. But," she paused, "he will lose everything. The blessings have to go somewhere. They will leave him and enter you." My stomach twisted. What happens to him? He becomes what he was meant to be without those blessings, his true form. I didn't understand, but I didn't ask more questions. I should have. God forgive me, I should have asked more questions. "How much?" I asked instead. 50,000 naira. It was almost all the money Chima had given me. The universe had a sick sense of humor. I paid her. She handed me the bag and a list of instructions written on old paper. "Listen carefully," she said. "You must put this powder in his food or drink. He must consume it. Once he does, wait 3 days. On the 3rd day at noon, say his full name 3 times while holding this." She gave me a small carved stick. His blessings will transfer. That's it? That's it. But remember, this cannot be reversed. Once it's done forever. I took the bag and the stick. They felt heavy in my hands. Walking home, the sun was bright overhead. Children were playing in the street. Everything looked normal, but I felt like I was carrying something dark, even in all that daylight. Adayeze was cooking when I got home. "Did you go somewhere?" she asked. "Just walking," I lied. I hid the bag and stick under our bed, wrapped in an old shirt. That night, I couldn't eat. Adayeze kept asking if I was sick. I wasn't sick. I was scared. But I was also excited. Finally, I would have what I deserved. Chima came back 2 weeks later. He said he wanted to spend the weekend with me like old times. He brought beer and meat, laughing as he unpacked everything. "We don't see each other enough," he said. "Money means nothing without family." The bag was hidden in my room. I kept thinking about it while we sat outside, drinking and talking. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. "You seem distracted," Chima said. "Just tired from work." "You work too hard for too little, brother. I've been thinking, why don't you come work for me? I can create a position for you. Good salary, benefits." Charity again, always charity. "I'll think about it," I said. Adiaze cooked jollof rice for dinner. While she was serving, I excused myself to use the bathroom. My hands shook as I pulled out the small bag from under the bed. The powder inside was gray and smelled like nothing. "Just a pinch," Mama Nkiru had said. "Just a pinch in his food or drink." I stood there holding it, my heart hammering. This was my brother, my blood, the person who had always helped me, protected me, loved me. But then I thought about his car, his house, his perfect life, how Adiaze looked at him with admiration, how everyone respected him while they pitied me. I opened the bag. In the kitchen, Adiaze had her back turned, washing dishes. Chima's plate was sat on the table, heaped with rice. I moved quickly, sprinkling the powder over his food. It dissolved instantly, invisible. "What are you doing?" Adiaze asked, turning around. My heart stopped. "Nothing, just checking if it was ready." She gave me a strange look but said nothing. We sat down to eat. I watched Chima take his first bite, then another. He was smiling, talking about his children, completely unaware. "This rice is excellent, Adiaze," Chima said. She beamed with pride. I couldn't eat. I pushed food around my plate while Chima finished everything. Every bite felt like a countdown. It was done. No going back. That night, Chima slept in our spare room. I lay awake listening to the night sounds. 3 days, Mama Nkiri had said. In 3 days, everything would change. Chima left the next morning, hugging me goodbye. "I love you, brother," he said. "I love you too," I whispered. I watched his car disappear down the road, dust rising behind it in the morning sun. 3 days. I just had to wait 3 days. The first day passed slowly. I kept checking my phone, expecting, I don't know what, a sign, something. Nothing happened. The second day, Chima called me. "Just wanted to hear your voice," he said. He sounded normal, happy even. "How are you?" I asked, guilt eating at my insides. "Good, good. Business is well, family is well. God is faithful." God is faithful. Those words made me want to vomit. "That's good, brother." After we hung up, Adiaze asked who it was. "Chima," I said. She smiled. "He's such a good man." The third day arrived. I woke up early, too nervous to sleep. Noon was when I had to say the words. Noon was when everything would change. I told Adiaze I needed to go out. She didn't ask where. I drove my old motorcycle to a quiet field outside town. No one around, just grass and sky and the hot sun overhead. At 11:55, I pulled out the carved stick. My hands were sweating so much I almost dropped it. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3. My phone rang. It was Chima. I stared at it, ringing and ringing. Should I answer? I let it go to voicemail. Noon. The sun was directly overhead, burning hot. I held the stick in both hands and spoke his name. Chima Okafo. Nothing happened. The field was quiet. Chima Okafo. The moment I said it the third time, I felt something, like electricity running through my body. The stick got hot in my hand, so hot I dropped it. When I looked down, it had turned to ash. Then my phone rang again. Not Chima this time, his wife. My blood went cold. Hello? Something is wrong with Chima, she screamed. He was in a meeting and he just collapsed. We're going to the hospital now. What? What happened? I don't know. He's breathing, but he won't wake up and he's making these strange sounds. The call cut off. I stood there in that empty field, the sun beating down, and I realized what I had done. Really realized it. I had cursed my own brother. I rushed to the hospital. The 2-hour drive felt like forever. My mind raced with terrible thoughts. What had I done? What was happening to Chima? When I got there, his wife Ngozi was crying in the waiting room. Their children sat beside her, confused and scared. Where is he? I asked. The doctors won't tell us anything. They just keep running tests. A doctor came out an hour later. His face was pale, confused. We need to speak privately, he said to Ngozi. He's my brother, I said. I should hear this too. We went to a small office. The doctor sat down, rubbing his face. I don't know how to say this. We've never seen anything like it. Your husband's body is changing. Changing how? Ngozi asked. His cellular structure is breaking down and reforming into something else. His DNA is rewriting itself. It's impossible, but it's happening. What does that mean? I asked, though I already knew. God help me. I already knew. We don't know, but he's still conscious. He's trying to speak, but he can't form words anymore. He's making animal sounds. Ngozi fainted. The nurses had to carry her out. They let me see him. I wish they hadn't. Chima was strapped to a bed. His body was still mostly human, but wrong. So wrong. His legs were bending backward. His hands were hardening, darkening. Hair was sprouting across his skin. When he saw me, he made a sound, a bleating sound. His eyes were still human though, still my brother's eyes, and in them I saw everything. Confusion, pain, terror, and worst of all, recognition. He knew. Somehow he knew what I had done. Chima, I whispered, tears streaming down my face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He bleated again, louder this time. It sounded like he was screaming. A nurse pulled me out. You need to leave. He's getting agitated. Over the next 3 days, I watched my brother turn into a goat. Not die, not pass away peacefully, transform. Every day, more human parts disappeared. Every day, more animal emerged. The doctors couldn't explain it. They called it a disease, a mutation, a medical impossibility. They were right about one thing. It was impossible, but it was happening anyway. On the 4th day, the transformation completed. Where my brother once stood, there was now a goat, brown and white, ordinary looking, except for the eyes. Those eyes were still human, still aware. I went to Mama Nkiru's compound, but she was gone.
The whole place was empty, like no one had lived there in years. Ngozi took the goat home. She didn't know what else to do. The children were traumatized. Everyone thought Chima had died and somehow a goat had appeared in his place. Only I knew the truth. And here's the worst part. It worked. Chima's businesses started calling me. His contracts transferred to my name. Money began flowing into my account. His blessings became mine, just like Mama Nkiru promised. But every night, I hear bleating from across town. My brother crying out in an animal's voice, trapped in a body that isn't his. I got everything I wanted, and I lost everything that mattered.
3 months passed. I was rich now, richer than I ever imagined. Chima's construction company was mine. His contracts, his connections, his money, all transferred to me like magic. People called me boss now. They shook my hand with respect instead of pity. I bought a new car, a bigger one than Chima's. Adaize got new clothes, new jewelry. We moved out of the old compound into a house in the city. God has finally remembered us, Adaize said one morning, admiring our new living room. God had nothing to do with this. Every night I couldn't sleep. I would lie awake thinking about Chima. Ngozi had taken the goat, my brother, back to the village. She couldn't bear to look at it, but she couldn't abandon it either. Something in her heart knew the truth, even if her mind couldn't accept it. I drove to the village every week. I would park far away and watch the goat grazing in the compound. Sometimes it would look up and stare directly at me. Those human eyes in that animal face. One afternoon, I couldn't take it anymore. I walked into the compound. Ngozi was inside, cooking. The goat was tied to a post, eating grass. When it saw me, it started bleating frantically, loud, desperate sounds. "Chima," I whispered, kneeling beside it. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The goat butted his head against me, not aggressive, desperate, like it was trying to communicate, trying to tell me something. I noticed it was thinner. Its ribs showed through its coat. Ngozi came out. Her face was hollow, aged 10 years in 3 months. "You come here a lot," she said. It wasn't a question. "He was my brother." "Is," she corrected. "He is my brother. I don't care what the doctors say. I know my husband is still here, in this animal." She started crying. I wanted to tell her everything, confess what I'd done, but the words wouldn't come. "The children won't come near it. They are afraid. But I feed it every day. I talk to it. Sometimes I swear it understands me." "It does," I wanted to scream. "It understands everything." I left money with Ngozi. "For taking care of him," I said. She looked at the money with dead eyes. "We don't need money. We need Chima back." That night, I got drunk for the first time in my life. Adaize found me crying on our expensive balcony. "What's wrong with you?" she asked. "We have everything now. Why are you sad?" "Because everything I have is stolen," I thought. "Because my brother bleats like an animal because of my jealousy." But I said nothing. The blessings sat on my shoulders like stones. Every naira in my account felt like blood money. Every business success felt like a curse. I had wanted Chima's life. Now I was living it, and it was hell. 6 months after the transformation, I couldn't take it anymore. I searched everywhere for Mama Nkiru. I asked people in neighboring villages. I offered money. Nobody knew where she went. It was like she never existed. One morning, I woke up to find Adaize packing her bags. "What are you doing?" I asked. She said, "I'm leaving," she said calmly. "Something is wrong with you, wrong with this money, wrong with everything. I can feel it." "Adaize, please." She stopped packing and looked at me. "You cry in your sleep. You said Chima's name. You look at me like you are guilty of something terrible. She stopped packing and looked at me. What did you do? I broke. Right there. I told her everything. The jealousy, Mama Nkiru, the powder, the transformation, all of it. She stared at me like a stranger. You turned your own brother into an animal, she whispered. I didn't know that would happen. I just wanted... You wanted his life, so you destroyed his. She picked up her bag. I can't be married to a monster. She left. I didn't try to stop her. That afternoon, I drove to the village. The compound was quiet. Too quiet. I found Ngozi in the backyard, kneeling beside the goat. It wasn't moving. He stopped eating 3 days ago, she said softly. I think he's dying. I think he wants to die. I knelt beside them. The goat's breathing was shallow. Its eyes, Chima's eyes, looked at me one last time. I'm sorry, I sobbed. I'm so sorry, brother. Please forgive me. The goat made a soft sound, not a bleat, almost like a sigh. Then it closed its eyes. Ngozi screamed. I screamed. We held each other and cried while my brother's body went still. The moment Chima died, I felt it, like something breaking inside my chest. All the money, all the success, all the blessings, I felt them drain away like water through my fingers. Within a week, every contract cancelled, every business deal fell apart. The money in my accounts vanished through mysterious fees and failed investments. The car broke down. The house payments became impossible. I lost everything faster than I'd gained it. But the worst part wasn't the poverty. It was the guilt, the knowledge that I killed my own brother for nothing, that I destroyed a good man because I was too weak to build my own life. Now, I live in the old compound again, alone, poor, haunted. Sometimes late at night, I still hear bleating. I know it's impossible, Chima is gone, but I hear it anyway, a reminder of what I did, what I am. People in the village whisper about me. They don't know the truth, but they know something is wrong. They see it in my eyes. Ngozi visits sometimes. She brings food I don't eat. We don't talk about Chima. We don't talk about the goat. We just sit in silence. 2 people destroyed by my jealousy. I wanted to be my brother. Instead, I became something worse than an animal. I became a monster who looks like a man. The end.